All right, welcome. It's time for the July strategy call. Thank you so much for hopping on. And if you're watching the replay, these are now going to be public. So for quite some time, I would do these monthly calls just for clients because I would show you the exact scripts that we've had pre-written for you. And I would show you the exact lead generation emails. I didn't necessarily want to get those out to the whole world for free because last TDs make it really easy for all your competitors that may not be paying us to just do a quick copy and paste job of the same thing you're sending out to their list that might go to yours. But as of this month, what we decided to do is to make these monthly strategy calls public, because the number one question anyone asks when they hire Vyral Marketing or you start publishing content is, what do I say? What's the topic? Can you take some of the thinking off my plate? Can you help me out with exactly what to say when I'm going to publish videos to stay in touch and for my list? So for this month of July, this will be up on our blog. I'm going to post this live for you to watch. So when you're a client, you get some strategy direction from me of what I think is going to pull the best response for you. But also if you're a prospect, you think about hiring us, you can kind of get an idea and get comfortable about the process of coming up with content that people actually want. All right. So first thing I like to do is let's review the July topics. I'm at a hotel here and they're doing construction behind me. So hopefully it's not too bad with the microphone if you're listening. Let's go over your July topics. Now you can go to our website. So on our homepage of our website, we have industries and you can click industries on the website. Let's go over your stuff for June. So let's start with real estate agents. This is where you're a listing agent, you're a real estate agent. Now, what's really nice is I want to share this with you is Steve Lamoth over here is our subject matter expert. He's the number one listing agent in Sacramento. He writes these scripts for us. So we have some good insight for your 2 scripts for July. So again, for July, these, if not already, because we were off for the 4th of July break, but these will be on the client site. And where you access those is click right here as a client. All right. So for July, real estate agent, here's your topics. This is the Vyral Marketing Plan. Your first video that should be going out right about now is what's going on with the real estate market right now. And the second video I want you to send out as a real estate agent in July is how long will it take to sell my home today? And the lead campaign, this is that third lead generation message that goes out, is these will be posted here shortly. Again, we're a bit behind because of the 4th of July break up on the client site. But essentially, it's an email that goes out that says, hey, let me know if you're thinking of moving and what your dream home is. Tell me the criteria for your dream house. If it becomes available, or I hear other brokers talking about some coming soon listings, I'll keep a file on it for you. I'll let you know. So we talked about these last month. You guys know these are the topics for July. I won't cover those. That was in the last training. Let's go over to real estate recruiting. Let's say you're recruiting agents for your brokerage or team, and you bought a second account with us to market to your peers for referrals or recruiting or to sell coaching or what have you. Here's the topics for July. These will be up on the client site. Again, written by our subject matter experts, number one listing agent team in Austin. Chris Waters writes these. All right. For July, the questions are, again, how do I properly show a home to a buyer, especially now with all the commission stuff coming soon on the buy side? And how do I prepare for a listing appointment? These are questions agents on your team actually ask. They ground you to the market. Then the lead campaign that's going to go out to generate leads is going to say, hey, would you like an updated copy of my 2024 business plan that I updated for the second half? Here's the free copy. You can download my business plan for the second half of 2024. Put your information in and get a copy. And I'll spike some leads of people that look up to you that might want to follow your business plan. Okay. So nothing new here. We covered this last month, the month of June. Those are your topics for July as a real estate agent. These are your topics for real estate recruiting. That's a messaging direction if you're a prospect. All right. And you're thinking about hiring us, but for clients, the actual scripts pre-written for you to make it easy, and the lead generation emails that I write that you can copy and paste and send out that will help you out executing. If you want to work those templates, just log in with the client login right here. All right. That's July. Now let's get ahead of it. At the time of this recording, it's July 8th. All right. It's July 8th. Let's think about what you're going to send out in August. So sit back and think, when's your video shoot in August? Let's start thinking about some good content. What are the topics? Let's get into it. I'm actually going to go through 4 industries right now. So for what it's worth, most of our customers at Vyral have been real estate agents or real estate recruiting. And we have some property managers. We have some mortgage professionals. We're seeing more demand from property managers, and we're seeing more demand for our services from mortgage professionals. We're also seeing more listing agent teams kind of looking at the commission landscape and the existing home transactions and becoming loan officers and maybe getting into property management. So I'm actually going to cover all four of those industries. I think they're all very complementary. Listing agent, topics for an account, recruiting to other agents, and then maybe give you some heads up, maybe what you would do if you're in property management or mortgage. So we're going to cover those four today for the messaging plan for August. All right, so let's get into it. So again, I'm going to go over here to industries on our website. You can follow along with me. We're going to go to real estate agent first, and let's go to our August topics. Let me just give you an overview of what we're going to do. So here's your two topics for August. Should I make repairs before listing my house? That's the video topic. Should I make repairs before listing my house? It kind of begs the question, which repairs do you recommend? We're going to answer that in 3 key points of what you recommend doing. We'll have these scripts written for you, but that is going to be your topic for August. This is what people want to know. All right. And then here, again, I also picked this topic because this is when that buy-side commission lawsuit settles. Again, I don't know the exact date. It's like August or September, somewhere in there. You can probably Google it and find out. But this is a real question. How much does it cost to sell a home today? This is your opportunity to maybe explain your flexible commission menu or to explain the difference between a cash offer and a traditional listing. Regardless, each of these videos will be answered in 3 key points by Steve Lamont for you. Then here's something I want you to think about. The lead campaign, the lead generation email, I want you to send out in August, that third message that spikes response is going to be to get a rate quote. And you're going, Frank, well, I don't want to send out getting a rate quote if I'm a listing agent. Well, look, when someone wants a rate quote, they're thinking about moving. They're thinking about the money that's necessary to buy or sell a home. I've always been of the opinion. I don't have an opinion, but I don't know why the mortgage brokers aren't generating leads for the agents. I mean, it seems to me like you're going to buy a house, you probably need to figure out who had the money for it first. Just the industry doesn't work that well. I don't know why. But a great way to generate buyer and seller opportunities, because if you want to buy a home and have to have one to sell, is you as the real estate agent, I'm going to write something for you to go out in July, to go out that says, hey, thinking about moving? Well, I got a great mortgage partner that I can introduce you to. And you don't have to use mine. You can use many. You can use all that special language if there's no preferred lenders or whatnot. But the point is, if you want a rate quote for a refinance or to buy a new home, you know, I have someone that can get you a quality rate and get the loan done that I trust. Put your information in, tell me your situation, get over to your loan partner. They're going to love you. And what do you got out of it? All right. So in August, you'll be sending out a direct offer message to invite everyone in your database to request a rate quote on a purchase or a refinance. Those leads will come to you. You are going to call them and you say, hey, it's Frank Klesitz. I saw that you requested a rate quote. Just to let you know, I'm not a loan officer, but I do have someone, actually I have a couple maybe you can speak with. I'm going to introduce you over here to Bob. I'm going to introduce you over to Sally, maybe give them 2 options. All right. I'm going to send your information over to them. They're the people who I like and I use. And they'll help you kind of, go through all your financials and get you a good rate quote. And then once you get that, give me a call based upon what you can afford and based upon what the finance situation comes to what you need and what you can do with your credit and whatnot. I'll see what we can do when it comes to your move. And then I would go into your pre-qualification script and why you want to move and ask them all the questions about that. So cool way to start generating some leads for maybe your co-marketing partners. Sending out an email for a free mortgage. So those are your topics for August. There you go. We will write the scripts for you, schedule a time for your strategy call to customize them in August with us, and schedule a time for your video shoot. Let's get those shot. Let's get those done. And let's maybe personalize them maybe specifically for your market, because obviously I have to make this make sense for everyone across the country. All right, let's keep going. We're now going to go to real estate recruiting. I call it real estate trainer. Messaging for August. Here we go. You want to build influence among other real estate agents? You want to train the agents on your team? You want to lay down some knowledge? Well, here, what business question are real estate agents asking? Well, what should I put in my listing presentation? I'll tell you, one of the most best lead generation messages we sent out was get a copy of my listing presentation in April. That crushed it. Hey, would you like a copy of my actual listing presentation I use? Download a free copy. Whew, that one performed really well. That one was great. All right. I will tell you for August, answer with 3 key points. Hey, I meet with sellers all the time. I know what the modern seller needs. You have to communicate and solve these 3 key problems in your listing presentation. This is what I recommend. This is what I do. Here's what you need to do. This is what I recommend if you want to work for me, if you're on my team. This is what you say in your listing presentation. Video number 2, probably getting, we're kind of getting into late summer. Homes might be sitting on the market. You're kind of entering the fall. The seller's kind of freaking out that I missed the hot selling season of May and June, July. Well, How do I properly ask a seller for a price reduction? Well, maybe not call it a price reduction, call it a price improvement. The price improvement. All right. But in 3 key points, I want you to use your knowledge. I want you to explain, how would you teach somebody in your office? How would you teach somebody on your team to ask a seller and to help the seller understand that they probably need to lower their price and how to go about it? That's going to be your second video. And again, I want to just drive this home. When you you answer these questions, these are like your actual, this is the official message for your brokerage or your team. So like, if any agent in your brokerage or team like asks this question, this should be like the training video in the library of how to do it. So it's not just like this puff piece of this marketing content you're sending out. I really want you to think through your answer of saying, this is how you do it when you maybe represent my brand if you were to work here. Because all you're doing is just sharing what you train your agents on with everyone else. Okay. Lead campaign. Love this one. So what we'll do for you here at Vyral is we'll send you the hosted links of all the video emails that you've been sending out to consumers. So many of you have 2 accounts with this. You have 1 account for consumers, for listings, and another one for recruiting. And if you're here for recruiting, we'll go grab all of the links to the video emails you sent out for the past 12 months on the consumer side, and we'll put them behind a landing page where, hey, you can get copies. I like to offer you copies of my past e-newsletters. Here's all the e-newsletters I've sent out for the past 12 months that you could download and see what I'm sending in my database. And you're welcome to model it. And the agent's going to put their information in because they're like really wowed by the marketing that you put out and they want to see what you're doing. And that's a lead. So that's going to be the monthly call to action or lead generation message for August, is download all my past e-newsletters. All right, there you go. And like I said, if you're a client, we'll have these all written up for you come the 1st of August once we talk to our subject matter experts for open the client site. This is the work. This is the content plan. All right, let's keep going like I promised for 2 more industries. Let's talk to our mortgage people. And by the way, if you're a real estate agent watching this, invite your mortgage person to this now. You can sign up for these monthly strategy calls right here on our homepage. That's where you can register. This is how you guys got access to this now. All right. So let's talk about, if you're in mortgage, what do you publish? Let's look for the month of August. What's the mortgage process from start to finish? That's the question the market is asking. What is the mortgage process from start to finish? And the #1 mortgage person in Utah, client of ours, Kyle, will write these for you. So Kyle Kohler will write these for you. He's good. All right. Then how can you figure out if you pre-qualify to buy a house? How can you figure out if you pre-qualify to buy a home? Or how do you get pre-qualified to buy a house? Which kind of leads into probably one of the first steps. You're going to answer that question with 3 key points. All right. Now I'll tell you, think about this. Mortgage people, wouldn't you love to know who clicks to watch this? That's how you identify who in your database might be interested in kind of talking about what you're talking about. That's how you prioritize your follow-up with. All right. And the lead campaign is simple. Download my home buying guide. Think about buying a house? Here's my home buying guide. Now, many of you already have these, and you can find home buying guides online that you can provide. Keeping Current Matters. If you go sign up for a free trial of Keeping Current Matters and hire them, they're wonderful. They actually have buyer guides. I believe they publish every season, like a spring, fall, summer, winter buying guide. And you can send that out. Essentially, the guide is as important as someone put their information in to request a home buying guide. So for those of you mortgage, send an email out. Hey, thinking about buying a home? Obviously, I can help you get the financing, but there's a guide here that'll kind of guide you through the process of buying a home in today's economy with interest rates. And if you want a free copy of it, I put it together for you. I found it for you. Enter your information to get it. Boom. Now you have a buyer lead. You know what to do. Follow up. Hey, let's get you pre-qualified to find out how low your mortgage payment can be. Let's find out. Let's take them through the pre-qualification process. That's what you do. All right. And I will say too, if you're a real estate agent, could you send these out? Sure. Could you invite your mortgage person in to your Riverside video shoot and ask them these 2 questions that you send to your database? Absolutely. Absolutely. So I think, kind of bringing these other industries just kind of opens up and gives maybe some room for the content to breathe a little bit, gives a little bit wider scope. There's nothing wrong with you as a listing agent sending this out to your list, or maybe inviting a mortgage person in to interview with you on Riverside. I like going over mortgage. I think it's helpful to cover this monthly on our strategy calls for our real estate clients. All right. Now, let's go to property management, which, by the way, I think it's probably the direction where America's heading is becoming more of a nation of renters. And there is a big market. And I will tell you, thousands and thousands of people that are completely unqualified to be a landlord are deciding to rent their nice home, mom and pops, because they like their 3% mortgage rate and go buy the next one, but have no business being landlords. So they're not selling because they're married to the rate, right? So there's this whole market of like fairly nice houses that probably weren't designed to be rentals that the homeowners are renting out at pretty good rents, you know, $3,000 a month. So there's margin in those rents for you as a property manager. And you're probably getting objections when you're prospecting if you're a real estate agent. Like, I don't really want to sell it. I might want to rent it. I mean, I really do think that there might be some discussions of like what you need to know if you're going to be a landlord. If you're going to play the landlord game, here's some content. So I want to speak to our property managers right now. And if you're a real estate agent, could you send this out? Sure. Could you invite a property manager into your Riverside video shoot and ask them these questions for your content? Sure. All right. Let's go through it. I like property management. That's a big piece of my life. I managed about 200 single family houses with my property management business. So I know a lot about this game. Let's go to August. All right. You guys ready for this? How do I hide my home address from tenants? Yeah. The last thing you need is your tenants knowing where you live. Quit claiming your property into an LLC or trust that you didn't set up, making sure that the mailing address that you use is a virtual mailbox through a company like Earth Class Mail or something like that. A lot of these written for you. But I'm telling you, if you have a list of landlords and you sent out, how do I hide my home address from tenants? That's a great video to send out if you're managing property. Okay. Next, what's the best way to accept cash payments from tenants? A lot of landlords, aren't knocking on the door to collect rent anymore. And not a lot of people want to pay with the, debit card because it takes a 3% markup fee. In many respects, you have to accept cash payments. You want to create a video answering the question, how to accept actual real cash. And for what it's worth, I'll just give it to you because I just know this stuff. The program is called Pay Near Me, and they can go drop it off at a gas station, Walmart. There's a whole bunch of places where people can go to drop off their cash and pay. I believe it's called Pay Near Me. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. Looks like they just changed it, but yeah, I think this is it. I'll have to ask my wife what we use, but they can go to a Walmart, they go to a Casey's general store. I think they go to a 7-Eleven. They give the cash there and they can pay it right that way. But these are real questions landlords ask. All right. I think probably one of the most interesting topics, I'll just go off on a tangent here, is I interviewing local politicians and the people running for Congress. You would be surprised how easy it is. Property managers, listen to me. Hey, so-and-so, I understand you're running for Congress, that your chances of actually winning are pretty low because we keep everybody in there and it never turns over. But maybe I can help you get to win. And I have a list of landlords. These people vote, and I'd like to interview you on landlord issues. I'd like to hear what your stance is and what you think is going on politically with issues affecting landlords. Can we do a discussion about it, or what bills are being introduced? And I think you'll be incredibly surprised if you actually reached out to their campaign saying that you're a top-selling property manager or real estate agent in the area, and you want to interview someone running for Congress on issues important to landlords and homeowners, and they're going to love that because those people vote. All right. You probably get a yes, especially if it's just hopping on like a glorified Zoom meeting on Riverside, like we do it with you, and then interview them, ask them some questions about just what's going on with, things considering with the election coming up. And then if you get really lucky, those politicians have the voter list. They have all the registered voters of the party. And they might just send it out. They might like that piece of content you created with them, and they might mail on it. So very advanced strategy, but I want to open your mind a little bit that there is content there that's the market's very interested in, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's go back over here to August for property managers. How do I hide my home address from tenants, and what's the best way to accept cash payments from tenants? We'll write these for you. Our subject matter experts will write them for you. The scripts will be up. And again, guys, if you're not a client and you don't know the answers, just Google it. The answers are right there. Or go to ChatGPT, say, hey, ChatGPT, write me a 5-minute YouTube script answering the question, what's the best way to accept cash payments? And phrase it in a way where it just gives me 3 key points. There's 90% of the work done for you. So just, you're not a customer, you're watching this messaging, but like, man, I really wish I had this stuff written for me. You're not ready to pay us to do it, which is on the client site. Those are 2 options for you to go help yourself come up with how you want to script these topics. All right. Now, let's talk about the lead generation message. That third lead generation message for a property manager is request a rental listing advertising review. Love this one. Hey, landlord, are you advertising your property for rent on Zillow, Craigslist, etc.? Let me take a double look at it. Let me look at it. You'd be surprised how many mistakes you can make with pictures, maybe a virtual tour, the advertising copy. More importantly, you don't incriminate yourself breaking a fair housing law. Remember, these are mom and pops, man. They know what they're doing with what you're saying in the advertising copy. Let me take a look at the price. Maybe you're mispricing the rental. Maybe there's some things you need to know about the area that would be helpful to highlight. Let me make sure that's showing up on all the places where tenants look for a property like yours. Let me give you a second opinion on your current listing ad. It's kind of like sometimes when you're a real estate agent, you approach an expired and you say, here's everything your agent did wrong on the MLS sheet. It's a lot more relevant in property management because, like I said, you have so many incompetents doing it on their own. Whereas for most people when they're selling their house, they hire an agent. The listing on Zillow is probably perfectly fine. But I think request a rental listing advertising review. We'll send that out to all the landlords in your list that you're building and see if you want to give them a free second opinion of how well they're advertising their property. Wouldn't that be great if somebody requests that? There you have it. So most of you watch this are real estate agents. Thanks for sitting through showing you the mortgage topics and property management topics. But let me reiterate, when you do your monthly video call, when we interview for your videos on Riverside, so this is what we use, riverside.fm. Think about maybe for some of your topics, inviting a property manager in. Think about for some of your topics, inviting a mortgage person in. And there's your topics to ask them. And you can go a lot further with that too. I won't cover all the industries for the sake of time, but inviting an investment advisor in, one of the biggest questions sellers ask, especially older sellers, is how do I defer or deal with capital gains on my sale? What a great topic to invite a investment advisor in. All right. So there's your messaging direction. So let me just open this up for any questions. If there's anything you'd like to ask me, feel free to ask me in the chat or use the Q&A. Normally at this point going forward, what I'd like to do is invite a client into these monthly strategy calls. I think after I go through just kind of restating your messaging for this month and give you proper messaging direction for next month of what you should say for your content that you're sending out, which is what we just did, I like to move to the next part of these meetings for the full hour is I actually want to review someone's marketing. I want to look at the product of a customer. I want to take a look at your YouTube videos and watch them. I want to look at your video emails. I want to look at the website, the video blog that we built for you. I want to look at maybe the video postcards that we're sending out, the retargeting ads. I need like maybe a volunteer. If any of you are interested, let me know. But I want to actually critique and look at your marketing to improve it. All right. But I need a guest that can show up for me on these live times. Maybe we can do it for like 2 or 3 months. And we'll pick someone new. Just let me know. But there you have it. I promised you messaging. There you go. You're all set. Those of your clients, it'll be written for you up on the client site. Is there anything else you guys like to know on the webinar? Feel free to ask something in the chat or ask me a Q&A. I'll sit here for about a minute and we'll wrap this thing up. And you guys can finish up July and hopefully make lots of money from your database. Feel free to ask a question. All right. I think we're all good. All right. Thanks for attending. You guys got your messaging direction. Let's go make some money. Have a great day, everyone. Take care.